But anyway, this 151, huge pattern that I wrote about in the book, and I wish I could plug this example in there, and in a future edition I will, but just understand it's no accident. And with regards to 151, I was also telling Brian about this the other day when he said, I'm insecure. I'm insecure because I'm sharing Gematria with him. Anyhow, the Great Reset equals 151, and so does Sustainable Development Goals. And how these fit in is on June 3rd, the World Economic Forum announced the Great Reset for the beginning of 2021 as a response to what's happening because of coronavirus, saying it's time for big tech to reshape this world to not only help us get out of the coronavirus, but just be on a better path environmentally, health wise going forward. And they announced that on June 3rd, and not by accident. The Great Reset was announced June 3rd, a date written 3/6 in the majority of the world. 151 is the 36th prime number, and 36 is important to the agenda. 666 is the 36th triangular number. And remember, HR 6666 is the contact tracing bill. You have the new cryptocurrency technology that Microsoft's put out in the time of the pandemic that traces body activity to generate your rate of pay that ends with 60606. You have the Clade X simulation, which began May 15th, 2018, simulating a pandemic that was put on by the same people who did Event 201, which was the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Johns Hopkins, the World Health Organization, the World Economic Forum. That was exactly 666 days before the pandemic was declared on March 11, 2020. 666. And by the way, coronavirus pandemic equals 113, like the majority of the world writes March 11th, 11/3, like 113. But the Great Reset 151, and it's to begin at the beginning of 2021. And there's been articles written about how because of coronavirus, because of the magical coincidence of coronavirus, the goals of Agenda 21 and Agenda 2030, which are referred to as Sustainable Development Goals, how they're coming into being. And the agreement from the beginning of the 90s is that the Sustainable Development Goals would be ready to go by the beginning of 2021, when the Great Reset is now scheduled for. So all of these things are related, and they're all coming out of the contrived pandemic, which is why they're all being coded as such, and also why the first case of coronavirus confirmed outside of Wuhan, China was on 15/1. Because remember, that first case confirmed out of Wuhan was in Seattle, Washington, where the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation are one of the main sponsors of these War Games pandemic exercises. So why will Brian and other channels not share this content? You often hear Brian stick up for channels who are